Okay.
It's
So we're on
live.
air.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
live. Good. Hi, this is Tom Lowenhaupt, and I'm here with. We're on air. Yep.
Hi,
I'm
I'm
Tom
Robert
Lowenhaupt,
Pollard.
and this is Robert Pollard. I don't know how we say this is. That's the way to do it. Okay, good.
Right.
And we had talked a little bit earlier, Robert and I, about .nyc and the state that we're in. That we're less than a month now from what I would consider the drop dead date in terms of the ending of the land rush period. And there are conceivably thousands of people who are registering names now, and those will be distributed on October 3rd, at the close of business on October 3rd. And there'll be conceivably thousands of contention sets where multiple people have applied for names, or people have applied for names that have that never owned the names before. And I know I've heard the representative from the contractor say that there's all this advertising out there, and I've yet to see any advertising. You know, bus stop shelters and other means of alerting the public to the availability of these names and the importance of taking them now. And October 3rd is the end of this 60-day land rush period. And I wanted to talk to Robert and I guess anybody else who wanted to join us today about what we might do in the interim. Before then, we have Robert and I are both members of the city's .nyc advisory committee. So we have a meeting this coming Monday in City Hall. And at our last meeting, at our August meeting, I asked if the London process for issuing for a land rush, for issuing names during land rush might be used. And I wrote that up and provided it to, did a total conversion of it from the London to the to what's New York, and presented that to City Hall, and have not heard anything yet about their adopting it. And so this is now less than a month away, with 30 days in September, October 3rd. And what can we do? Last week I had written an email to my fellow members at the Internet Society in New York, and suggested that asked for their thoughts on the process and what could be done. And they answered back. The answer that I got back was that a town hall would be an appropriate meeting, appropriate step to take, and a hall was offered at Brooklyn Law School. And I thought, well, that's a possibility. Subsequently, though, I spoke to a number of people who typically attend these town hall meetings. The ones that I've always attended have been elected leaders and some community leaders, and the way they work is people are up on a stage or in front of a hall, and each of the members up there introduce themselves. The public has to ask a few questions, and then they say, and we'll address these problems and we'll get back to you. And being 30 days away is one problem from the end of land rush. That's one big problem. Another problem is that it is election period, and people that I've reached out to are not even. I can't even get to them, considering that there is an election come Tuesday, and the state elections at least, and they're all busy with that. And this is just a very short period for doing that. And I was trying to think of what else might we do. The idea of a rally was one thought I had, and how to arrange that. It's something I've never done. I've arranged a number of events in my life, and fairly successfully, but nothing that would, you know, um, necessarily attract City Hall's attention as a huge, mass event of some sort. So I'm not totally confident that I could do that, given the time, even, and considering the fact that we have until, the decision has to be made before October 3rd. What to do was a question. I guess the way I left it off, Robert, when we were talking earlier, we kind of discussed a lot of this stuff earlier, and the only thing that I thought of was the prospect of looking at the way that the mayor attracted attention a year or so ago when when he objected to something or another. I forget what it was. I think it had something to do with the consequences of the hurricane that was around, and he was objecting to the way they did the housing or something of that sort. How the city had responded to how the mayor had responded to the housing problems, and I don't know exactly what he did, but I think he managed to get himself arrested or something, and now he's in City Hall. So he knows how to get the media's attention, and I don't know if it requires something as drastic as that, but I am trying to figure out what that might be
Right,
for
maybe you
us.
should climb to the top of the Brooklyn Bridge or something like that and get
Yes,
arrested.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Sort of demonstrate.
I had, yeah. I don't know if that would be the one I'd go on, but I actually decades ago I did climb to the top of a bridge, and it was quite interesting at night, and we didn't put up any flag or anything, but it was legal back then. Let me say, I don't know, but no, it's not something I do these days, and but
I'm not
something
inclined that way either.
I'm sorry, Robert.
I say I'm not inclined to do that either.
Not,
I
not
don't like.
either.
I'm not
Okay.
fond of heights anyhow, and
Uh-huh.
I don't really want an arrest record.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the latter is not the most concern to me. Having spent all this time on it, I wouldn't. It's not a big deal. But that latter, the last part. But so I was thinking that maybe something. Getting some signs in front of City Hall. Do people do that anymore? I mean, that's a thought that I had.
They do. I mean, one
My,
of the questions is it's not only science, but it's people, and where are we going to get
yeah,
those people? If there's
yeah.
two people. I was once in a two-person demonstration down by White House when Deng Xiaoping came to Washington, objecting to the thing, but we didn't get any publicity.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's well, it depends on how much effort you put into it, and there is some time to do that, and I think it's the numbers I think would be more effective there than they would be at a town hall, because the town hall is again they're going to come and well, we hear your concerns and we'll get back to you, and what do you say, when you say to them, but we only have till October 3rd. How do you respond to that under those circumstances? So I'm just not certain that a town hall is the way to go. And so I don't know. There must be other ways to do this. I mean, I shouldn't say there must be. I hope there are other ways, but. For the moment, I'm inclined to think that trying to drag out as many bodies as possible for that purpose, somewhere between figuring it would take a couple of weeks to get the word out. I mean, clearly, we have had contact with hundreds, if not thousands, of people. I'm sure thousands of people, I can say, over the years on this. And if I were to risk being accused of being a spammer, I'm sure I could reach a vast majority of them at least once, and inform them that there is this event that's going to happen at the steps of City Hall or on the steps. I hear the steps often mentioned. We can. I know we can have an event on the steps of City Hall. Which is maybe tied into it somehow. Maybe it's. But that's a kind of a numbers thing, and that's kind of standard. That's always done, and I kind of
Right.
I don't know how effective that is. That's sort of like, oh, they march them in, they march them out, and I
I'm also
I
wondering
think
about media coverage, whether there's a way whether it's to put together an op-ed piece for the New York Times, which may not be easy, or to
yeah
even in something like the Gothamist or um, one of the other New York papers. And I think too, I think even here, for the masses that may be watching this this YouTube. It's on YouTube. It's
Yeah.
not live, and it may be useful just to go over again what that .London thing is and what the issues are. Because I think you,
Oh,
when you said it,
good.
you kind of, I know what you mean, but
Right, right. Okay, let me review it. Right. So we're right now we're in a 60-day land rush period. So the people with trademarks have had the opportunity to pick their names, and I think 482 of them did. And beginning on well, it's a 60-day period that ends October 3rd. Anybody who wants to pay a slight premium can acquire a .nyc name. And there are, I think, 25 or so um, um, registrars that you can choose from. So if you were to go to nic.nyc, that's one way to get there, nic.nyc, it will take you to a page that, I think it's ownit.nyc, where you'll link into these 25 registrars. And there you can register for basically any name that you've ever heard of associated with New York. So if you there have been several hundred of them set aside by the city of New York for the neighborhood names, as well as some names for the administration of the city. Mayor.nyc, city council, things of that sort. But basically, any business name or any organization name or any publication name that you've ever come across is available for right now for you to go out and register. So for $75, you can register New York Times.nyc or Daily News.nyc or Empire State Building.nyc or 1,001 other names. And what happens is that if no one else registers that by the end of the land rush, by October 3rd, it's yours. You have it. They don't. Forget the fact that they may have been using it for 100 years as a family business or whatever. Your local ice cream parlor or the place you've gone into 1,000 times, unless they have registered it as a trademark with one of those 482 names, all of your local businesses, their names are ripe for picking at this point. They have no preference over you or I. So if, for example, they let's say it's Mary's Bakery, Mary may want to get this name and and register it. Let's say, presume that the best circumstances, she does register it. She will have the opportunity at that point, if someone else registers it, to be in an auction, a high bid auction for it. So she, if she had a competitor who was not happy with her business, or who thought that he could have a site that would gather her customers looking for her over to Joseph's Bakery, he could have Mary's Bakery, the Mary's Bakery name, and just have it link over to Joseph's Bakery at the end, or he could sit on it for a year or 5 years and wait until Mary learned that she really needed this, that .nyc is doing something good, and that she would like to have Mary's name. And then this person might have invested in the name, thinking that, well, I'll sell it to Mary when she gets ready. So a year down the road, or 5 years down the road, Mary might approach him or her and say, I'd like to get Mary's Bakery.nyc, and they say, okay, we invested in, we saved that for you, we reserved it for you, and give us $1,000 or $10,000 or whatever the amount might be, and you can have Mary's Bakery. So there are a number of ways that this system is unfair. What they've done in London with these names is the following. So if Mary, in the case of Mary's Bakery, at the end of the on October 3rd, she would find out that she would have to. Excuse me a moment. I have a call coming in. I have to hang that up. Sorry, and let me airplane mode it. There we go. And Mary would then, Mary's Bakery would be able to upload to the arbiters. She'd be able to upload a document saying that I've run Mary's Bakery for 25 years, and here's my license from the city of New York. And if Robert, for example, had also taken the name Mary's Bakery.nyc, he wouldn't have anything to upload saying that he'd own it, and Mary would. So this is what they've done in London. They've said that if the existing businesses get their names, if they have anybody who's got proof that they've got it, then they get it. So there is a circumstance that, for example, if Robert ran Mary's Bakery in Brooklyn and there's another Mary's Bakery in the Bronx, then how would you decide? An auction might be a good way to do that. We have presented the city with some thoughts on how to moderate the damage caused by that auction by putting the people together rather than having it be just a high bid auction. Maybe they could agree on Mary's Bakery 1 and Mary Bakery 2 and therefore not bid each other into submission. But there are these different methods of registering names rather than the way the city has it, which is just a free-for-all. It's truly a land rush like there was in the Oklahoma 1890s, and I think that the city should look into these other means, look into what London's doing with these things, and look into the suggestion we've made about the alternative method for the high bid auctions, and moderate this very damaging process. So that's where we sit now, is with this thing, facing this, and beyond that, there's the problem that the city has really never had any substantial public hearings. They haven't had any opened it up to a real visioning by the public as to how they'd like to see their TLD run, their top level domain name run. And so therefore, October 3rd, with the ending of the land rush, there'll be 10, more likely 50,000, 100,000 names will be issued, and there'll be thousands of these. Thousands of people will have their names taken away from them. Thousands of people will be thrown into these auctions, these high bid auctions, and it will not be a wonderful community TLD that we'd hope that there be. And therefore the value of all of the names will be diminished at that point, and the whole TLD's vitality will be endangered, and New York City.nyc will be one of 1,000 TLDs at that point. So if you're opening a business, you won't say, "Oh, I want to be part of the .nyc community." You'll say, "Well, .nyc, that's good. So is .net, .com, all these other places that I can go. There's no special reason to go into .nyc." So that's what we're trying to avoid. That's what we're aiming to do, and that's what we've been involved with for Connecting NYC for 10 years or so, and that's what the Community Board's resolution asked for in 2001. So we've been after this for quite a while now, and we're trying to figure out. The city has not listened to our pleas, and we're trying to avoid the loss of the TLD as a substantial resource for basic digital infrastructure for the city. And does that kind of cover it, Robert? Or
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right. Good.
So certainly, I agree with you. It makes a lot of sense. It's not clear to me how much of a response we're going to get. I think that's the big question. Right. Where can we get the leverage for the city to take note of this? And do we have, particularly, are there political allies, for example, borough presidents or city council people or whatever, who could who might be more able to get, say, attention with the press conference or whatever, and may be able to organize it back more quickly and more effectively than we might be able to organize a demonstration outside City Hall.
Well, those channels are certainly worth noting, and we do have your borough president, Gail Brewer, has been a big supporter of the project, and I know she has always been very concerned about the mom and pop businesses. And Ben Kalos is also aware of the situation, and he was kind enough to arrange a meeting a while ago between myself and the folks from the contractor. And he has a group of people who are trying to alert the people in his district as to the issues. So the Upper East Side of Manhattan is where he's from. And my council member, Danny Drum, has always been very supportive of this. And the last time I went to him about this, he wrote a letter to the mayor and helped get the mayor's advisory board set up, on which again Robert and I both sit. But we were as I said, it is election time now. I guess that does end come Tuesday. I guess it is here that there'll be the election period for the main part of it in New York will have ended with the primary, and I could work on those folks and trying to get them to. They understand the issue. I mean, we sat there. I think we've sat there in City Hall, Robert and I, and we have explained it to the mayor's representative that what the danger is, and there doesn't seem to be enough stimulation, enough of a awareness as to what .nyc can be, or how this can influence. I've referred to the consequence of this process, the existing process, is having people with pitchforks on the floor, on the small business people, mom and pops on the steps of city halls with pitchforks to try and make the clear how upset some people could be when they find out that names they've used for generations have been taken by someone else, and when there's an alternative, good alternative process, the .London process has been. I don't know if it's demonstrated yet. It's in the process. They are now culling through their various applicants in London for London names, and what it takes to get the city to pay attention to this is so far eluded us, and today we're trying to figure that out, and we're going to talk here for another couple of minutes, banter around a few ideas possibly, and then if any of those who are listening here, how they'll contact us from YouTube is half a mystery to me, but
well, they can comment on the YouTube video.
They comment on the YouTube. Okay, we will pay close attention to
that.
that.
And they can also comment on the Google Plus page for this.
Okay, very good,
Yeah.
very good. And we do have the website, which I think is up here, connectingnyc.org. Do we have that? I don't know, I'm very pixelated today. I can't even read mine. But
no, I don't. It's not legible.
It's not legible? Okay.
No, even the name's not legible.
Oh, yeah, okay. Our website is connectingnyc.org. And, so any one of those channels, you can give us your thoughts on what to do. But for the moment, I think it is worthwhile contacting Borough President Gail Brewer, council members Ben Callos and Danny Drum again, and telling them, reiterating the situation, that it is there's only a short time left. And then the town hall, I don't know, Robert, are you in agreement that it's tough to do a town hall under these circumstances, that an alternative is better?
Well, yes. I mean, it's two things. One is, how easy it is to do it. The other is, which I think do raise some legitimate concerns, is how effective it would be even if that town hall meeting could be set up.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do have the hall. We have a nice hall offered to us by Brooklyn Law School, and we do have the Internet Society, New York Internet Society, who's agreed to help us out. But I think the last point, though, is the one that Robert just mentioned. How effective will it be? I mean, they have heard us already. As Robert and I sit across the table from them, we emphasize it. Other people emphasize it, and they haven't had a change of heart. And the business people in New York, far beyond my comprehension, the chambers of commerce and the bids, and they haven't even come to the last mayor's advisory board meeting for some reason or another. These entities are, they represent from afar somehow. Maybe there are some back channels that they use to influence the mayor, but in any case, they haven't so far. So the people that they represent will be losing their names, and it's shameful, really, and it's a situation. So,
I mean,
Robert, go on.
The other thought I'm having, though, is, while it may not be effective to to have a town hall meeting. It may also have some value anyhow. Uh, it may be more possible to get more publicity from that, and from that, whether it's letter writing or telephone campaign or whatever, to to push for this. It seems like it could. I don't think it would do any harm. I mean, and plus there's the broader issue too that, as you mentioned before, and it's been my situation too, I haven't seen any advertising. I did see one pretty upbeat article from, I think it's United Domains, a Boston-based registrar, that was, talking up the .nyc top-level domain. But I've not, other than that, which I only saw because I had the Google alert on the .nyc domain. It's not. I haven't seen any signs of any publicity. Mm-hmm. And again, the Google alert that I have, only picks up these stray articles, mostly in tech-related journals. But I haven't seen anything in any mainstream media, whether it's, whether it's possible to get an article in, whether it's the Post or the Daily News or AM New York or whatever, that might get some more attention. But it's, both on this particular issue, but also more generally, a lot of these people, Mary's Bakery, even know that it's probably very likely for many small businesses that they don't even know that the registration is available or know about the land rush. So I think that continues to be an issue. But again, how,
yeah.
It's not like we're posting new pictures and get, viral coverage all over the place, which seems to be.
Yeah.
New pictures
it could be funny. Those would be good. I was laughing at myself, but I don't know I don't know where I'd get one of De Blasio, but in any case, yeah. All right. Well, okay. The town. We've got support there to do the town hall, and the town hall with media maybe is worthwhile, and schedule that. I don't know how quickly you can do something like that. I'll get on it when we get off when we hang up here, and then there's always there's always the bridge. We can always climb the bridge on the 2nd or something like that. I don't know. I guess actually the thing to get, if I heard it mentioned in conjunction with the call for the town hall meeting, was someone was asking about an injunction. And I guess legally, that's that's a step. If the mayor is not willing to rethink the situation, or if he's in a position where they have, I know they have a contract, which is one of the difficulties. The problem. I mean, just for a little bit of background here, that this is all a process that was negotiated under the Bloomberg administration. And the Board de Blasio showed up on January 1st and said and was told, here's the contract, go do it. And he's had he's a very receptive staff. The gentleman that we meet with on the Mayor's Advisory Board is a very thoughtful person, but I know he's extremely overworked. He's got this and 3 other major projects, and this is not a front burner project on the mayor's plate or anybody's plate. This is infrastructure. There's nothing more boring than talking about infrastructure, and that's where some of these articles that Robert talks about, getting an op-ed, and maybe I just have to avoid the word infrastructure, which I tend to lean on a little too often. But as a planner, I guess I know the importance of it, but not as a PR person, I should forget the word. So. Where was I heading there, Robert? I'm a little. Are we about done again?
I think we're probably about done.
Covered it. Okay,
yeah,
good enough.
So,
All right, Robert, thank you so very much. And
Okay.
we look forward to some comments from folks, and we will keep you up to date. We meet here every Thursday at 5 o'clock. And so next Thursday, come around and find out all about the town hall meeting that's coming up, the rally, the bridge climbing, who knows what. And thank you very much. Bye bye.
Okay.
Robert, thanks
Bye.
again.
Bye.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Bye.